Moving on to Penguin Zero, the moist man himself, talking about how Xbox didn't actually change and they are not back, and I totally agree, but for different reasons, because he's wrong about some things. But that doesn't matter because the energy is still the same.
We have been schmeckeldorfed. It's only been 2 months since they played the big prank on us, since we were all deceived, like Sauron giving us the rings. I foolishly bought into the idea that Xbox's new CEO Asha Sharma was on the right path after she made that statement about the shortcomings and what Xbox needs to return to its former glory, and even dropping the absurd Game Pass prices down, which I know isn't some move of an angel, like it's not some benevolent gift she bestowed upon us out of the goodness of her heart. It is a standard business tactic called price anchoring, because where they ended up with the new price for Game Pass is still higher than where the price was initially, before they had the absolute lunacy that was the 50% price increase, which is just fucking sinful. Trust me, just like when the peanut butter's on the top shelf, I know it's there and it's painful. I get it, I really do. But what you have to understand, when it comes to Xbox, we are just emaciated when it comes to anything positive in that fucking cesspool. You have to dumpster dive into the very bottom, get into the dumpster juice, the sludge water there, to find W's when there's even a morsel of one there. And in this case, her reverting that price even a little bit, like taking foot off of everyone's nutsack, I believed was at least a step in the right direction. And the things she was saying was accurate about, like, why Xbox is no longer the juggernaut that it was. So I really did think that she was starting to course correct the ship here. But now, sports fans, I gotta tell you, it really seems like anyone who takes up the mantle at Xbox is cursed to ride the Orb of Confusion crazy style. Like, that's the only explanation here. They are once again back on their barnacles, bro. And to be fair, it's not even accurate to say that, because they just never stopped with the horseradish. I just assumed, and I think a lot of us assumed, that with Asha correctly identifying the shortcomings of the Xbox brand for so long, they would also have that come to Jesus moment, that eureka, the light bulb that goes off in their head, that the relentless, ruthless, cutthroat shutting down of studios was also not helping them at all.
Isn't this what she's known to do, though? Didn't she do that at the last company that she worked for? She just completely gutted everything and then left, or she got removed, or whatever. It's the same thing. Imagine thinking that a corporation, a modern corporation that has existed for decades, is gonna do what the consumer actually wants. Blah, blah, ha, ha.
In most cases, there were a few that I understood where they just literally had nothing to show for years upon years of work, like just couldn't release a game. So I get it, because it was just hemorrhaging money, just these huge payments and still not a single game that they were able to fart out. Like, I get those. But that's not all of their shutdowns. And their most recent ones actually have me at my chin scratching the fuck out of it, because I can't understand. Because some of the studios they shut down are actively far along in development on titles people are excited for, or they have also just recently released titles as well. It just makes no sense to be constantly looking for ways of shutting down these studios, when the biggest problem, the one that's plagued Xbox the most above all others, and one that Asha herself has even tinkered around with and slapped around, is that Xbox has no games.
And Charlie gets into one of the most egregious studio shutdowns in history, and it actually affected me, and it pisses me off because I like the Senua games. I saw the trailer for it and I immediately thought, this is the God of War that I want, but now I'm definitely out on it because fuck Xbox.
They have just shut down Ninja Theory, and they put the fear of God in other studios under their umbrella. It's not even really an umbrella. They got them in, like, fucking pit of, like, barbed wire, basically. They're walking on eggshells down there. But they have also apparently been tinkering around with the idea of, Double Fine, maybe closing the door there, Compulsion Games, and Arcane. Now, I think this is crazy because at the most recent Xbox showcase, which was like 8 days ago, they prominently featured Ninja Theory's upcoming game, the new Hellblade game, Senua. And I understand the Hellblade franchise has historically flopped. It's been kind of weak in terms of sales, and I personally am not a huge fan of them. I find them to be more like tech demos than actual games. But they were actively far along with Sinwa, and they had even showcased it at Xbox's own event to pretty big success, because it looks like they were prioritizing making it a game for the first time in this franchise's history. So it was pretty exciting to a lot of people, and now they announced that the studio's banished to the Shadow Realm. Wait, what? They just unveiled the new Hellblade, and now they're shutting them down? Compulsion Games, Double Fine, and Arcane are also at risk of getting shut down. Yeah, I see Compulsion and Double Fine here. Arcane too? They were told on a call on Monday, and they've got several other active negotiations about spinning off Compulsion Games and Double Fine. Asha Sharma and Chief Content Officer Matt Booty warning last week of a reset at Xbox, laying out several challenges facing Xbox business, including that it had overextended with its studio system, and the hardware component crisis is significantly driving up prices. I never said Xbox was back, just that Asha was at the very least not driving it more actively into the ground. It was taking steps to steer it in the right direction, and now it's right back to standard Xbox behavior. Is there a way back for Xbox? Games! Games! Make games!
Games that don't cost $500 million each to make, and don't try and pander to a wider modern audience that doesn't exist, sure.